Hello guys, how are you doing? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Welcome back to the channel, and tomorrow is officially Nintendo's E3 Direct. We are 24 hours away. Oh my gosh, so exciting. And a couple of days ago, I actually posted a video discussing what I called some last minute wishlist games or reveals or surprises I hope to see show up at the show. And today, I wanted to include some last-minute bold predictions. Now, of course, as I mentioned in my last video as well, this is something I've already discussed on some videos and some of the hype and build-up and stuff leading up to E3. But I did have some more ideas pop into my head, and I figured while I had 24 hours to still kind of throw some predictions out there, that I would do that. Because I really haven't discussed anything with you guys that would probably qualify as a bold prediction. Some predictions, when we do this stuff for E3 every year, are just normal predictions. But when you think about a bold prediction, it's something that maybe doesn't have the best chance at happening and maybe most people would never agree with you on, but you still believe in it enough to put the idea out there because there could be like a small chance that it could happen. So I don't even know that I necessarily believe a lot of the things on my list have the greatest chance at happening, but that's the purpose of a bold prediction, is something that probably no one would ever think would be possible, but you throw it out there anyway just because it's fun to do. So, you know, I'm only like 30% sort of believing a lot of these ideas, but they're definitely fun, they're interesting, they would potentially be some pretty big shakeups, and it's just a blast to kind of discuss this stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into some of my ideas here. Some of them are definitely way more bold than others, that's for sure. But the first one I'm going to say, and I know this one will disappoint a lot of you if it turns out to be true. But my prediction about Animal Crossing, if we see it tomorrow, which I don't know why we wouldn't, but if we see Animal Crossing tomorrow, I feel like it's going to look like more of the same. And again, I'm an outsider here. You know I don't play a lot of Animal Crossing, but something tells me we've all been waiting for a new Animal Crossing. All of you guys that are big fans have been waiting to finally see a new good Animal Crossing. And I'm also sure that a lot of you have been waiting to see how it's going to be new and improved and different. But what if Nintendo, when they finally give us a real Animal Crossing game that's not Amiibo Festival, what if they just give us something just like basic and simple and something that looks just like some of the older games, and there's really nothing new or fancy going on? Now, as somebody who doesn't play Animal Crossing, it's hard for me to pick and choose, you know, the mechanics that have always existed that they would continue to do, as opposed to the mechanics that maybe they would change, and a lot of you guys who are fans have been asking for a long time. I don't have the inside knowledge here. I just feel like, I don't know, I could see a world where they show off Animal Crossing, and the reaction I see online from Animal Crossing fans is, oh man, this looks just like the Tree Folk game. There's nothing new here. It looks good, but I'm not excited because it looks like the same old Animal Crossing. I don't know. Something in my head tells me that we might see something like that. For you guys, I hope that that's wrong, but it's just a feeling I have in my gut about Animal Crossing. I also will say, as far as Animal Crossing, my prediction on a release date is going to be October. It feels like that perfect fall game, and Nintendo always likes to have at least one big October game. It was Super Mario Odyssey a couple of years ago, and I feel like Animal Crossing would be the perfect game to fill that slot. So, yeah, that's kind of what I feel about Animal Crossing. Another bold prediction that would be potentially very disappointing to a lot of you, and definitely to me, is that we might not even see Bayonetta 3 anywhere at Nintendo's E3 Direct tomorrow. And I think that that's a game that a lot of us would otherwise expect to see at the show. I mean, I probably more expect to see it than not, but it also seems like a game that kind of might fit in Nintendo's schedule in such a way that it might not make sense for them yet to talk about it tomorrow. You know, I mean, I've long theorized that because of Astral Chain coming out this year, like in only like a couple of months, that Bayonetta 3 is probably a game that's gotten pushed into 2020. And while overall I'm fine with that, having Bayonetta 3 released in 2020, I still think that I would like to see Bayonetta 3 show up at the E3 Direct tomorrow, so maybe we can finally see something from that game, even if it's just a trailer, or if they even just confirmed that it's 2020 as opposed to 2019, or what have you. But something also tells me, like I said, it might just make sense to not show up. And so as much as a lot of us might be banking on seeing Bayonetta 3 tomorrow, maybe it's far away enough that Nintendo has no reason to bring it up, and it's going to be one of those curiously missing titles from the Nintendo Direct. And speaking of that, we can move to some third-party predictions that I have here. These are kind of starting to veer more towards the positive, by the way, of things that we might actually see. I think there's a good chance that we're going to see at least one new third-party exclusive game. Over the years, Nintendo has been great with securing these random third-party exclusives. You know, Bayonetta 2 and The Wonderful 101 were huge ones on the Wii U. We already have Bayonetta 3 coming to the Switch. We've had Octopath Traveler on the Switch. We've got Marvel Ultimate Alliance coming out in July. And I love to see that. I mean, Nintendo, as much as they've always struggled with consistent multi-platform third-party support, they seem to be weirdly good at securing the occasional awesome exclusive. And it's a lot of fun. They've almost always been great games. And so why wouldn't we see another one? And to be fair, I don't know that I have any predictions on what those might be or what studios they would be coming from. You know, we've got one coming from Koei Tecmo with Marvel Ultimate Alliance. We've had one from Square. You know, Platinum Games, of course. So really hard to predict that aspect. But it's just exciting to think about. And I just, you know, when we think about surprises at the Direct tomorrow, that's one that jumps out to me as making a lot of sense. On a similar tip, I also think we might see a couple of third-party multi-platform games confirmed to be getting Nintendo Switch ports. Something else that a lot of us want to see more and more of, and Nintendo's been doing a great job with, you know, we know like Doom Eternal, of course, is coming out for the Switch this year, just confirmed to be coming out in November. And Mortal Kombat 11, of course, this game right here, that came out day and date. That's really great stuff. There's some other games that I think could be really great fits for the Switch that we haven't yet had confirmed to have Switch ports. The Marvel Avengers game, of course, is going to be revealed this year at E3. It'd be great to find out that that's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Code Vein is a game I really want to see on the Nintendo Switch. I'm very excited for that game, and it would just make so much sense on the Nintendo Switch. And they still have yet to do it, so hopefully we see that happen. The Final Fantasy VII Remake? That's a tough call. I mean, could that run on the Switch? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I would want to think, yeah. I think the Switch is like a magical and extremely versatile device, so I feel like most games could be made to work, and so, yeah, I want to say maybe that game could show up, and that game, I think, recently just got confirmed for March next year, if that was accurate. I haven't yet confirmed that, but I just saw something about that, so... you know, those are the kind of games I think of maybe being games that haven't yet been confirmed to come to the Switch, but that still might. And it would be cool to see one or some of these show up in the Direct tomorrow. Now I'm going to give you guys what I think is the boldest prediction yet, the boldest prediction in this whole video. I will say nothing crazier than the sentence I'm about to say to you now. And you can laugh and scoff all you want, but I'm putting this prediction out there right now just to be crazy and bold. And I think we will see at least one new Nintendo 3DS game talked about tomorrow. That's right, just one game. Even if it's something where they announce like some weird Kirby spin-off game, and it's like, and there's also a Nintendo 3DS version of this game, or whatever it is, or some random weird like Square RPG, who even knows? But something tells me, and it could be the slightest mention, it could even be just a little blurb, an asterisk on the bottom corner of a screen that says also coming to 3DS, anything like that. I think the 3DS will not be completely absent from tomorrow's show, even though it probably should be absent, and as much as I love it, Nintendo should be beyond it. I feel like, I don't know, I got this weird feeling Nintendo's gonna pull one more weird-ass 3DS game out of their pocket and actually discuss something for that console. It's hard for me to think they're going to go 40 minutes, because they did just confirm that their show is 40 minutes tomorrow. It's hard for me to believe they're going to go 40 minutes and not bring up the 3DS at all. So, I know it's bold and wacky and crazy, and you guys are going to think I'm nuts. But I'm sticking to it. I think we're going to see one 3DS game tomorrow. A couple of other release dates I wanted to throw out there as well that we might see confirmed tomorrow. Luigi's Mansion 3. I feel like that could be confirmed as their big December game, because in the first two, you know, holiday seasons since the Switch has launched, they've had one big December game. And so, you know, it was Xenoblade Chronicles 2 the first year, it was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate last year. This year, you know, you would think maybe they would want Luigi's Mansion out by October, and I wanted to say that, but because I feel like they want Animal Crossing out maybe around that time instead, that they're willing to put Luigi's Mansion out in a non-October month and just put it out in December, like in the Christmas month. So, you know, I could be wrong. Those might even be reversed at the end of the day. Who knows? But I have to commit to one sort of idea here. So I decided to commit to Animal Crossing in October, Luigi's Mansion being the big December game. You know, it could be the first or second week of December, before Christmas. Daemon X Machina is a game I think we need to hear a lot from tomorrow, and I think we will hear about it, and I think we will get the release date of September. I think in the Nintendo Direct a couple of months ago, they mentioned it was going to be a summer release, and we've yet to see or hear anything about it. And I feel like just pushing it to that very first fall month, 1 month outside of August, is probably going to be the perfect time. With Astral Chain coming out in August, and then of course Fire Emblem and Marvel Ultimate Alliance coming out in July, there's not that many months left, and I feel like Daemon X Machina, it's not going to be a huge game. It doesn't need to get pushed into the holiday season because it's not going to be that big. So for me, September is just that perfect weird window month for them to release a game like that. So that's my prediction there. And the last prediction, of course, is one of the bigger ones and one of the most exciting ones to think about. And man, we need to cross our fingers and pray to whatever gods anyone out there might believe in for this to happen. I think we might see one new major first-party Nintendo franchise show up. And, you know, I've brought up plenty of these franchises over the past couple of weeks. We all know which ones would be exciting to see. We all want to see Pikmin come back. We all want to see F-Zero come back. We all want to see Kid Icarus or Punch-Out! Or, I don't know, a new Star Fox game, of course, even though we did have one just a few years ago. Maybe Metroid gets that surprise, you know? I mean, anything could happen. And when I say Metroid, I think I'm gonna not include the Prime Trilogy here. I'm talking about something that would be potentially a new game. So, as much as I think the Prime Trilogy has a shot at showing up, I've discussed that before, I'm also thinking something that might be a brand new game. So, I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be, there has to be some sort of major new first-party game. I mean, to be fair, that could even include something like a Splatoon 3 or an ARMS 2, which I also talked about in a recent video. Anything that's a first-party Nintendo franchise, a fairly high-profile one, whether it's been long dormant for a long time, or if it's not so dormant, I still think we might see something from a new first-party kind of studio or a new first-party franchise. And that's always the most exciting, man. I mean, that's what we come to Nintendo for, right? Is there amazing first-party games and characters and franchises. And let's get something else new, man. We know we've got a Fire Emblem and a Pokemon and an Animal Crossing coming, and in a Luigi's Mansion. We have some franchises with new entries right around the corner. But what about something that we don't yet know about, you know? And it's tricky because we've already seen a new Zelda, we've already seen a new Mario, we have already had Splatoon 2, for example, you know, a new Xenoblade game. Like, we've seen some of these already have entries in the Switch era, but are we far along enough to see some of them now start to get announced with newer entries? Maybe. But I also think it could be like a long dormant franchise, like I said, like a Punch-Out or an F-Zero. I think Pikmin 4 is probably right near the top of the games, the franchises that has the best chance at showing up tomorrow as a big surprise. And it's definitely one that would make me very happy and very excited. Because, you know, this year is stacked with games and I'm loving what 2019 is bringing, but there are a lot of games and franchises that I'm not invested in. I mean, Animal Crossing and Pokemon being two of Nintendo's biggest games this year, and then also Mario Maker, by the way. Those three big games are all games that I'm not going to play and that don't appeal. I'm sorry, I am playing Pokemon. I am. That's right, I committed to playing Pokemon. But I'm not like a Pokemon fan, so I'm not like thinking about it and like actively excited about it. So those are three franchises that I'm not like invested in or interested in. They're great games to get and add to the library, but I'm not like, yeah, these games, I can't wait to have them and play them. Oh my god, that's just not me. You know, Fire Emblem is the only other big one. And Astral Chain. Those are the only other big games that I'm very excited for. So let's see something else huge show up from Nintendo first party at the Direct tomorrow. So those are some of my last minute big predictions for Nintendo's E3 Direct tomorrow, 1 day away, 24 hours away. It is the greatest time. E3 has been pretty interesting so far, man. We've seen all the Star Wars stuff, which I liked from EA. The only thing, of course, I liked. Microsoft's press conference and Bethesda's press conference happened last night. I was a pretty big fan of them. They weren't perfect, but I definitely liked them overall. I've seen a lot of negative reactions to them online, however, so people are all over the board right now. Ubisoft is later today. Hopefully that's really good. And a lot of people are looking to Nintendo to potentially save the show for them so far. I think that they have a chance to be the best show because Microsoft, while I liked it, did disappoint me a little bit. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. So I think that Nintendo's primed to steal the show if they have a great showing. And they have a 40-minute show, which I did not expect to be that long. That is a great sign. So let's see what happens, man. Discuss my predictions below. What do you think about everything I laid out in this video? And then, of course, what are your own predictions? I want to hear what you think and you predict. Bold predictions we're talking here, guys. What do you think might happen at Nintendo's E3 Direct tomorrow? Whatever it is, talk about it below. That's it. Let's get excited for one day from now when we're all watching Nintendo's E3 Direct and hope that it is a banger. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Ro2R, and I'll see you next time on another video.